Okay, welcome to an edition of How to Spot a Transitional Coin on a 1909. We are going to start with the 1909 SVDB. Now, I do not have the ability to actually move this image around a whole bunch on the screen and point at things. So you're going to have to all just kind of listen as I do this. But what we have in front of us here is a 1909 SVDB Reverse Design Variety 1A. Okay, so what this is this is what the Mint started with in 1909 and what the N in United looks like when you have a 1A reverse, and also the letters. So I'm going to point a few things out real quickly here. Take a look at the N, see that it is actually filled. I wish I could zoom in on this for you, but unfortunately it doesn't quite work that way. The N is filled in the crooks, basically the valley and the peak of the inside of the N. Now go the next letter over and see how tall and skinny the I is, and next letter over is the T. Take a really good look at how wide the top bar of the T is and how rounded the inside corners of that T are. So if you follow all of that same thought process to all of the other letters in the United States of America, you will notice that a lot of the inside corners are rounded. A lot of the outside corners are rounded. Same with the T of states, both T's, especially the second T, even the E of it, and the E of America. Now, this was how we first discovered the different galvanos, so to speak, was if you look at the E of America, right there in the middle, you will notice that it is extremely rounded on the inside. And if you look at the M next to it, you will notice those same little slopes inside the M as well on that. You'll also take a look at the inside triangle of the A of America, as well as the underside legs and how rounded everything is. All right, so this is the 1909 SVDB RDV1A. I'm going to go to the next one here. This is a 1909P RDV2B. This is what was supposed to go forward with all subsequent coins from 1910 on, and this is what went forward. All right, so let's take a look at this. Take a look at the N first of United, and you will notice those peaks and valleys are extremely sharp cut. This is what's known as the sharp cut N. You'll also notice along the eastern side of this N how it actually is in cut right about the middle of the eastern portion of the north-south bar there, and how it actually gets skinnier towards the middle of that eastern bar. Now let's keep going right over. Take a look at the I next to it. You'll notice it got fatter compared to the RDV1A version. Take a look at the T and you'll notice the same thing. But also take note of the fact that the bar across the top of the T is definitely shorter. The T itself is also shorter, top to bottom. If you look real close, you'll notice that it does not come all the way down to the bottom of the other letters. It does not match the I or the E next to it. Now take a look at the E of United, and you will notice a huge change between the E of United on this one, and I'm going to go back to the E of the United on the other one. You can actually see the big difference between the two as I transition back and forth here with the curves of the letters. All right, now continue over and you'll see the word states. I'm going to go back to this one and pull this over so you guys can get a chance to see these as I transition. Take a look at the T and the A. Notice the inside opening of the letter A on states drastically changes shape. That's a good hint. Now, also take a look at the left leg of the letter A in states, and you'll see it almost has a foot on the bottom of it. You'll notice that that foot is gone on the A of the RDV2B version. Now, also take a look down below at the last A of America, and you will notice a big difference between this one with the large opening on the A and this one with a very small opening on the A. Now, the other thing to note, the difference between the two is the E of America. You'll notice that they would call it a level E or a non-level E. They squared everything up on the E, but the E itself actually on the RDV1A is level with the other letters around it, and on the RDV2B it has been dropped slightly but squared up. So those are two interesting characteristics. Now let's take a look at one other coin. This is your transition coin, and this one I actually do have the ability to kind of slide around a little bit because it's live. I'm going to point out a couple of things, and just before everybody goes, oh no, sorry, this isn't the, this is the number one. Let me grab that transition. There. This is the combination between the two coins. I'm going to quickly point out to you what happened. So when they laid one over the other, it essentially caused the images to merge, but it didn't eliminate all of the design elements of the other coin. So they laid the number two, 2B over top of the 1A, and essentially what you got was a merged image. Take a very close look of the N, and you'll actually see that it looks very, very much like the 2B version, except for a few things. It's slightly filled in the inside of the crux of the N, and it has one other really recognizable feature. These bulbs up at the top of the N. There's one here, and there's one small one on the top of this N here. If you also look, you'll notice that it does have that distinct little cut in the middle going down to the bottom of the N. Now on some early die state examples, you will actually see the other N, the 1A N, underneath the 2B N as well, and you'll see it very prevalently right along this side of the N. Notice how the I got fatter and squarer. Notice how the T, and you can actually see both T's. You can see the T from the 1A and the T from the 2B right underneath this particular coin. So Just so you're aware, you can see it also on the E, but you'll also notice that you get this squared up version with rounded corners on some of your letters as you continue to go across the coin. You'll see how they changed the T's. You'll see how they changed the size of the S. You'll see how they changed the inside portion of the letter A, and especially how they changed that inside portion of the letter A down here. And you'll also pay real close attention to this E down here, because it's actually a combination of both. If you look really, really close, there is a line at the bottom of this E that basically goes straight across, where the 1A is underneath this 2B overlay. So hopefully that will give you guys a little bit of how to spot the transitional reverse of a 1909 Lincoln cent. The biggest key to look for is this N right here. You will, if you see this particular type of what we call sloping inside that N, with these little bulbs up on top, that's almost a dead giveaway that what you have is a transitional reverse. Hopefully that helps you guys. There you go. Have a nice day.